So this video is going to be about limiting factor analysis questions. So this is just going to be the mathematical workaround questions in which we will work out the contribution per unit of the limiting factor, and we'll also work out the shadow price. Now, before we get into this, we need to know what exactly is a shadow price. Shadow price is the amount that a company is willing to pay on top of the cost that they're already incurring. So it's an additional amount they're willing to pay to acquire the additional required materials to fulfill the demand in case if there's a shortage or a defect in already present raw materials or the stock. So the limiting factor analysis questions are usually divided into 5 steps. The first step is the identifying which of the variable costs are limiting factor. So we have the availability here, as we can see. The availability for materials is 10,000 kg, and for labor it is 350 hours per week. And now we need to, so the first step to our this question will be to work out our which of the variable cost is limiting factor. Identify limiting factor. So we start with the direct materials here. Direct materials. As you can see, the material required is 80 kg. We multiply it by the demand, that is 50. Add it to divide 60 into 90. Add 90 into 40. Yeah, this is plus, this is multiply. Okay. We'll now work out the value. 80 to 50 plus 60 into 90 plus 90 into 40. That gives us 13,000. So which means the required direct material is 13,000, but we have available 10,000, which means we are short of 3,000. Yeah, and because of that, what we deduct is that our direct material is indeed a limiting factor. Okay, moving on to the direct labor, and how we'll do that is we'll take our direct labor from here and multiply it with demand, taking the direct labor, multiplying it with demand, and like so on and so forth. So 2 multiplied by 50 plus 90, it's actually 1 into 90, but that's just 90. Okay, and then 3 into 40, and we get the value 2 into 50 plus 90 plus into 40. That gives us the value 310 hours. Now we have available, but the available amount is 350 hours per week, and we require 310, which means the direct labor is not a limiting factor. Okay, let me put a small cross over it just so that we know. Yeah, okay, the second step to this question is to wait a minute. Yeah, so the second step to this question is to find the contribution per physical unit of each product, and that's just what we're going to do. So contribution is, we need to know what is contribution. It's the selling price minus your variable cost. Now I think I should continue this question on some other page. Okay, in this case we have the data right in front of us. So now we are finding out the contribution per physical unit, and that is selling price minus variable cost. What is the selling price here? The selling price for the first one for X is £100 minus the variable cost 80 multiplied by 0.5 multiplied by 0.5, that's 40, minus 2 multiplied by 10, that's 20. This is our two and we need to make sure that the contribution is always in pounds per unit. Okay, it's a financial data, if you want to call it, or like term, because like in like here, these are the units, this is the material required, this is not the actual money in terms of financial terms. Okay, so here we have is 100 minus 40 minus 20, and what do we get here? That gives us the value 40. Okay, once we have for the X, now we're going to work out for the Y. And work out for the Y. So for Y, where we are working out, the selling price is 80 minus 30. Now 30, where am I getting the 30? 60 multiplied by 0.5, that's the half of it. 30 minus, what do we have here? 10. 1 into 10, 10. So this will be 80. Minus 30 minus 10 gives us the value of 40. So we have found the contribution now. Now we're going to work out for Z. In this case, the selling price is, what's the selling price? Yeah, 130. 130 minus 90 into 0.5, and the half of 90 is for, I think, 45. Yeah, 45. 45 minus 3 into 10, 30. That gives us the value 130 minus 45 minus 30, and it brings us to 55. So now we have to rank them on their basis. We have included our labor cost. Actually, no, we don't rank on the basis of the this is the contribution per physical unit. Now we rank on the basis of limiting factor only. So X is 40, Y is 40, and then Z is 55. These are contribution per physical unit. Now to find per what do you call? To find per limiting factor, so we X का जो unit है, so X units are 80, the Y units are 60, and the Z units are 90. And this is where we are doing our third step. Okay, this bit was our second step. This bit was now we're going to do the third step of finding the contribution per limiting factor. So 40 divided by 80 gives us 0.5, and then 40 divided by 60 gives us 0.67, and then 55 divided by 90 gives us 0.61. Now we have to do our fourth step. This is gonna be the fourth step, which is rank them from the highest to the lowest. So we can see Y is the highest first, and Z is the second highest, second, and then this is the smallest, so we make it third. So the first priority will go to the Y, then the second, and then third. Okay, this is how we will fulfill the demands. Now the fifth one and the very last important step is where we work out the optimal production plan. As you can see, the demand here for Y is 60 into 90. 60 into 90 gives us 5400. Now this is kg, 60 kg multiplied by 90, which is your demand. Yeah, 60 kg is kg, this is your demand. You multiply it and you get so. Now we need to remember that our materials is 10,000. Okay, our material is 10,000. As you can see here, material is 10,000. Okay, so that's done. The next step we need to do is we have allocated. Now we need to give to the second one. Second priority was to Z, so that is going to be 19 to 40. This was Y. Z is going to be 90 into 40. 90 into 40. So 90 into 40 is 3600. Now we need to see how much is that. 5400 plus 3600 gives us the value 9000, which means out of 10,000 we are left with only 1000. So we have to allocate this 1000 kg to X. Now what we do is we take the remaining amount 1000 and divide it by the material required, this amount, the material that we have here, to see how much we can, like, what's the demand, how much of demand we can fulfill. And this gives us the value 12.5, and we consider this to be 12. Okay, now we need to find our availability, how much it will be fulfilled. On the basis of 12, we are fulfilling the demand for 12, and like in materials term, how much would it be? So in X, 12 into 80 kg, this is demand, and it gives us the value 12 into 80, 960. Okay, so minus 10,040. Okay, so we fulfill this now. Okay, this is how much the out of 1000 we allocated this much to it. Okay, now the question, there is another question in which we have to work out the shadow price. Now you have to assume that okay, so now you have to assume that additional materials could now be obtained. How much would the company be willing to pay for an extra 160 kg of materials? So they want to acquire 160 kg of materials. Yeah, how much would they be willing to pay? Like, what will be the cost? How much would they be willing to pay? And now remember, the shadow price is the amount that we pay on top to acquire the limiting resources. Okay, as you can see that we have fulfilled the demands of like here. We have fulfilled the demands of Y and Z. Yeah, they've gotten their full demands. But it's the X that just has 12 instead of 50 here. Yeah, so we are going to allocate this material to X. Okay, so 160 divided by AT, because here, and it will show us how many more units we can make. 160 kg divided by 80 kg, it shows us that we can make 2 units out of this. Now 1 unit had a price of 80 into 0.5. 80 into 0.5 equals to 40, yeah, per kg. This is your amount for 1 unit. So for 2 units, the amount will be 80 pounds. Now this 80 pound is your shadow price. The 80 pound is your shadow price. Now, what will be the total cost? The total cost will be, for X, it will be 160, the material, into 0.5, because that's how much it costs, plus 80 pounds. This is the amount that they were willing to pay on top. 160 into 0.5 plus 80 gives us the value 160 per kg. Actually, it's just 160 pounds. That's the amount they're willing to pay. Yeah. So that's it.